Boom. Some people wonder how to get started in the transport business. So, I'm going to tell you how I got started. It was dumb luck. I used to own a carpet cleaning business, and I used to clean this couple's house. Big, beautiful house out in Spring Hill. Anyway, one day I was cleaning their carpets, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna sell our business, our transport company. We're gonna sell our equipment and our leads and everything we have." The guy was telling me he had got a blood clot in his leg and he couldn't sit down anymore for that many hours. So he's like, "Yeah, just go get your CDL and give me 12,000 for the truck and the trailer." The truck was a '01 Silverado 3500. The trailer was a 1996 Take 3 piece of shit rusty trailer. So I kind of just blew him off. I was like, "Yeah, right, okay, whatever." Come back to clean their house, clean their carpet. I don't know, it was like 2 weeks or a month, and he said, "Did you get the CDL?" And I was like, "I don't know how to do all that, man. I don't have the 7 grand to go to school or whatever, whatever." So he tells me, he said, "Look, go down to the DMV, just take the test. I have the answers right here." He brings out a bunch of paperwork. He says, "Go study these answers. Go down here and take the test." It's a 3-part test. You have to take a test for combination, air brakes, and general knowledge. So didn't really take him that seriously, but I was like, "Hey, what do I have to lose?" The test was like $12 each. I had to take 3 of them. Went down there, took it, failed. Went back, took it again, failed again. Went back, took it again, passed. So then I had my permit. So then I had to take a driving test. That was $300 here in the state of Florida. Never driven a semi in my life. Had to go on YouTube, look up some how to double clutch, um, how to check the truck for leaks and things like that. Never drove a semi. I went and drove this truck. I was pouring sweat. It was a 1995 Mac with no AC. They had a long 50-foot trailer on it, 53-foot trailer, but it was a flatbed trailer. So took the test. Um, Somehow I passed. It was a miracle. It was a miracle that I kept that thing running because it had a million miles on it. It was leaking oil from everywhere. Lady, I was like, "It's leaking oil here, here." She was like, "Yeah, yeah, all right." Anyway, passed the test. Um, Went back to him, cleaned his carpet again. He's like, "All right, so you're gonna buy this truck and trailer? Glad you. I can't believe you got it. I tried to get my son to do it. He wouldn't do it. Everybody I talked to wouldn't do it." So I was like, "Man, I don't have $12,000, but maybe I'll get a job somewhere and get out of what I'm doing now because that carpet cleaning was killing my back." So I told my mom about it, and my mom was like, "What does he want again?" And I was like, 12 grand. So she was like, "Well, does he have, his books and his receipts and how much money he made?" I was like, "Yeah, but it's a nice dream, but it sounds good and not really taking it seriously." So my mom calls me like 3 days later. She says, "I'm flying down to Florida. I've got tell him to wrap it up, get the books so we could take a look at them. I got the 12 grand." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" I didn't forgot about this whole situation with his truck at that point. Anyway, I call him up. We go to his house. He has all his BOLs and how much he got paid in a big folder, and I'm seeing he's making about he was probably making about 10 to 15 grand a month, something like that. You can look at his BOLs, and this one was 800, this one was 600, this one was 700, and this is for a day. Now, what I was making carpet cleaning, let me see, I was probably making $99 if I was lucky, if I had a carpet to do that day. If I had two, I think the most I ever made carpet cleaning was $700 in a day. And that was when I cleaned the church. And you want to talk about a hurt back after that? I pretty much had to leave that church in a wheelchair. So to see that someone was making 800 a day blew my mind. It blew me away. So anyway, he gave me a contact of a transport company that he ran for. He was an independent contractor, so he didn't necessarily work for them, but he necessarily kind of worked for them, you know. But I mean, he moved when he wanted to move. So he said, "I'll put you on to this guy. He'll give you all the work." And it was good, man. I was fed my work. I bought the truck from him, got everything. Within that first year, I paid my mom back. Um, Started driving for this guy, but this guy was just, he was kind of disrespectful, you know. I ran for him for about a year. I learned the business, and like the third time he was disrespectful to me, I was like, "Look, man, I own my equipment. Like I don't work for you, you know, per se. You give me work, you take a percentage." He was taking 10% of everything I did. So it was good money. The first year I made 80 grand running for him. So finally we get into an argument over the phone. I was like, "You can have it. I'd rather be broke than to have somebody talking to me crazy like that." So went ahead and went out on my own. Now at this point, I knew how to move cars, but I didn't know how to get to work because I was being fed my work. I was like a tamed lion, I guess. So this guy was into me for like 7 grand, the guy that I was running for. So that money kept me afloat while I figured out how to get on with different companies like Metro Logistics, Ready Logistics, Cars Arrive, you know. So that once I got on with them, that next year I made 6 figures. And I was driving less than when I was driving with this guy. This guy would have me running from about 10 a.m. I wouldn't get home till 3 a.m., wake up the next day, do it again, 4 or 5 days a week. He'd also call me on the weekends. He'd call me on the weekends. I'm out to dinner with my lady or my mom or whoever. And he'd be like, "Hey, can you run down to Sarasota for me?" I'm like, "I'm at dinner, blah, blah, blah. Well, how long are you going to be there? What time are you leaving?" I was like, "I wasn't planning on driving today. It's the weekend." Guy would hang up on me. He'd be pissed off. I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, who does that? You know, you call somebody to work on their day off, and if they say no, you flip out, you lose your shit. So anyway, long story short, it was dumb luck. That's how I got into the transport business. Never thought about it. I think I thought about getting my CDL once when I was around 23. I'm 40 now. And once I found out you had to go to truck driving school for 3 weeks and it cost $7,000, I was like, 23 years old. I don't have $7,000. I don't want to be in debt to this school for the rest of my life either, just to learn how to drive a truck for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? A lot of people get with Snyder and companies like that, and they go over the road, and then they're in debt for the rest of their life trying to pay them back just to learn how to get your CDL. I went on YouTube. I looked at YouTube videos, uh, got out there in the truck, paid attention to my mirrors, and anytime I had to turn a corner, a tight one where there was a light pole or something, I did one of these and hope for the best. So anyway, that's the way I got into the transport business. It was kind of by dumb luck. If you want to get into it, you can. There's ways around making it hard for yourself. Don't go, you know, a lot of guys, I see them go buy a $60,000, $70,000 dually to go pull a trailer. The trailer lives behind the dually. And I'm thinking in my head, in a year, that dually will have 100,000 miles on it. It'll be worthless. You spent 60 grand. Now, say you wanted to sell that dually, that's 60 grand and turned into 20. You know, maybe 30 if you're lucky. So you didn't cut your vehicle, you know, value in half right there. So I buy used trucks. If I'm gonna go run, I try to get the lowest miles I could possibly get. I like the Duramax, and you know I got it used. I got a 2011 Duramax. I love it. Um, I guess I could have got a semi, but I use my truck for more than just transport company. I use my truck for pulling my boat. If I want to move something, if I want to drag a spare tire down the street, I use my truck, and I can also park my truck at my house. If I had a semi, I'd have to, you know, pay for storage. You know, an oil change on that thing is probably expensive. Tires are expensive. If I get a flat tire in my truck, I get out with a jack, change my tire, and I'm on my way. You get a flat tire in a semi, you're calling up some company, and God knows how much that is. I heard it was like $400 or something, maybe more, for them to come out and change the tire. So, you know, I like the dualies. A lot of people don't, but that's what I started with, and that's what I end with until I find another business to get into. So until then, I appreciate the subscribers. hit that like button and subscribe. Y'all take care. And that's how I got into the transport business. Boom.